can't pay your bills, you can't pay your mortgage, and now you're contemplating filing bankruptcy, but at the same time you think you may be a victim of medical malpractice and are deciding whether or not to bring a lawsuit for your injuries. I have to share something with you. Do not file your bankruptcy matter yet or your medical malpractice matter yet. Would you like to learn why? Come join me. Hi, I'm Jerry Oginski. I'm a New York medical malpractice and personal injury trial attorney practicing law here in the state of New York. Did you know that if you go ahead and file bankruptcy, what happens now is that the bankruptcy court takes possession of everything that you own? That includes any rights you may have to bring a lawsuit for medical malpractice, for accidents, or even wrongful death. What happens is that the bankruptcy court, when they learn that you have gone ahead and filed a civil lawsuit seeking compensation for your injuries, your case will be dismissed. And how does that happen? Because the defense lawyers representing the doctors and the hospitals will turn around and determine, number one, that you filed bankruptcy, and number two, that you didn't have permission beforehand to go ahead and do that. And as a result, your case will be dismissed. Now, why should that matter to you? Well, if the time limit to file your lawsuit for medical malpractice has passed and your case has been dismissed, you will no longer be able to bring a lawsuit for your injuries and seeking compensation for those injuries. And that can be very, very significant and a big problem. So what do you have to do if you're contemplating filing bankruptcy and at the same time you believe you were a victim of medical malpractice and are deciding whether or not to bring a lawsuit? Number one, if you've gone ahead and filed bankruptcy, you then have to get permission from the trustee, from the bankruptcy court, in order to go ahead and file your lawsuit. And that's a simple process for us to do, and it's not a difficult one. But the permission has to be obtained first. Otherwise, your case will ultimately be dismissed. Now, let's say you've started a lawsuit first for medical malpractice in the state of New York. And during the course of your lawsuit, now you realize you can't pay your bills, you can't work, you can't pay your mortgage. Can you declare bankruptcy at that point? The answer is yes. So why do I share this information with you? I share it with you just to give you an insight and an understanding into what goes on in these types of cases, especially if you're on the verge of filing bankruptcy and you think you may have a valid medical malpractice case here in the state of New York. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to pick up the phone and call me, because if your matter happened in the state of New York, I can answer your legal questions. So what I want you to do is pick up the phone at 516-487-8207 or send me an email to lawmed10@yahoo.com. I'm Jerry Oginski here in New York. Have a great day.